for themselves. And probably that's also a brand strategy. But let's have Daniel. Daniel, I've invited you. Hey, gee.
Boss,
How are you, man? How are you? How are you?
my guy Dale, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, loud and clear. I can
Okay,
hear you. I can see you.
no vex.
Good, good, good. How are you? How's the weekend so far?
Ah, weekend, couldn't wait for it to come. Been a lot of work,
I know,
so
I
yeah.
know. Yeah, very, very hardworking man. Yeah. And I
Thank
think
you, boss.
I suppose that's the thing about content creation because it's not easy.
It's not,
ChatGPT can still do it for us.
it can't,
Yeah.
it can't. That's the mistake that a lot of us made. When we saw
Yeah,
AI, we
yeah,
kind of assumed that AI was going to do all the job for us. But
absolutely.
nah. It helps structure, but we
Yeah,
have to put in our own spice. That's what makes us different.
fantastic. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you for joining. Now, of course, I don't need to say too much. You are going to be the one who's handing over the laptop, who will choose who will win the laptop. And guys, just so you know, it's not me, it's Daniel.
Guide me, oh! Come on, guide me! Oh yeah, everybody, put your start bidding. What's your highest bribe? Let's go.
All right, cool. So, but let's just quickly kick off as it is. Let me say Happy New Year as well to the MannyVille fam. Again, I know it's February, but guys, New Year is whenever we say it's New Year. And for us, really, it's the first episode that we're doing in 2025, and I think so. It's going to be interesting because I think it's an important part of how you begin the brand new year. And for those who've been rocking with us for so long, thank you so much. It's been almost 2 years, 12 episodes. We've had so many conversations. We've changed so many lives because of you. And for those of you who are new, congratulations. You've stumbled on probably the most exciting, transformative tech um, um, conversation on the continent, if you ask me. What we do here is not just conversation. We don't just do talk. It's like a movement. All right. We're not just talking about Africa's digital future. We want to build it one device at a time. We realize that look, we can speak a lot of English, but you need to give devices because devices is the foundation. So we really call it 3Ds. So there's devices, there's data, and there's digital literacy. And that's one thing that you will always see every time we have a conversation. Devices because it starts with access, data because the internet is the gateway, and then digital literacy because it's really what you know and how you can navigate tech that changes everything. So far, guys, listen, we've given out 21 laptops. 21 laptops. I can't remember how many data subscriptions. I'm sure my team will keep me honest. It's almost 60 months of data subscription that we've given out. I think what's even more important is that we've been able to empower young Africans to start their digital journeys. And today, one more person is going to walk away with a device that's going to be given to the person by Daniel Emeka. All right, so what are the things to expect today? We're gonna give out one laptop. We're gonna have data. Every single person who gets picked up to pitch is going to go home with at least a month of data, and then the winner is going to be inducted into what we call the Single Click Academy for them. Now, why are we talking about brand identity? Just want to give a little bit of an introduction. If people hear your name, what comes to mind, guys? What comes to mind when people hear your name? Now that is your brand identity. So in 2025, understand that your digital presence is your real estate. Everything you do when you're trying to stand out, defines you, and it lives and breathes online now, and we're going to focus largely on the digital. So give you three things just as a takeaway before we go into the master himself. Tech is redefining everything. Just understand that from the get-go. All right. Visibility is not accidental. It's strategic. You don't just wake up and become a brand. Emeka, it wasn't just yesterday. It's funny. It's intentional. It's curated, and right now it is being powered crazily by technology. And then finally, the brands that win are those that evolve. And I think you guys will understand that. Now, sitting down and not doing anything as things evolve, and he mentioned some crazy names. Just know that you're definitely not going to stand out in that crowded space. And then the noise will drown out no matter how excellent or how technical or how gifted that you are. All right. Now, who's the best person to talk about this than Mr. Daniel Emeka? Let me tell you a little bit about him. I'll read his profile, and we did it differently. It's not going to be long. It's not going to bore you, but we're just hitting the strong points. So you've seen anything that is disruptive, a memorable campaign, chances are Daniel Emeka was behind them, all right? Whether it's Chivita, UBA, First Bank, Paga, he has worked with top tier brands to craft powerful narratives. He's a good storyteller, a great storyteller. And he's built communities and he drives tremendous engagement. He's the co-founder of The Republic. It's a firm focused on marketing innovation, and he's the founder of Niger Graphic Designers. Now, this one is a big one, and I know that we're going to be working with him. It's the largest design community in Africa. He's passionate about storytelling, design, and brand growth. He's the guy you want to listen to if you're serious about making an impact in the digital world. All right, so guys, please give it up for Mr. Daniel Emeka. You see that this is coming out? Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, give it up for him. Give it up. Much love, much love, much love, much love, much love.
Hey,
Okay,
thanks,
cool.
guys. Thank
Yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
So I've made this interesting introduction to Mr. Daniel Emeka. Now we're going to hear the man talk. All right. So I've spoken too much. I usually take a backseat during this engagement, and let us learn from the feet of the master himself. So let's talk about. We have this thing that we do on the MannyVille Live series. We like to talk about you. What's one thing that people don't know about you? You know, that's an interesting story. A lot of people see you on the screen, but and I think that a lot of people just generally put their best foot forward. There's nothing wrong with that. It's about building brand identity.
Sure.
But one of the strengths of what we try to do is that we try to lift up the hood, go behind the scenes, and then present something that is memorable that hopefully can inspire people. So what's one thing people don't know about Mr. Daniel Emeka?
All right. And I like that a lot of young people are here. I think one thing that you need to know about me is I did not go to university.
Oh wow.
So, immediately after secondary school, I found my way. It's not as if I didn't want to go. Again, people should not go and say that they found a sign, let me drop out or let me not go to university. No, it's not as if I didn't want to go. But I was lucky enough to find the path that I wanted to find. And I was lucky enough to be able to build myself towards the path that I wanted to get to. And I knew that at that point, especially because of okay, so let me put it this way. So I want to be very careful so I do not I do not confuse a lot of young people that might be listening. So I'm very self-aware, and I am also very self-aware that I am talented. And my talent is born out of my strong sense of judgment. And when I hold something dear to my heart, I fight for it. So even if it's at that point it doesn't look like something, I make it something. So, and immediately I left secondary school. It started from going to my aunt's place. My aunt owned a business center. She had a photocopy machine. She had a computer. That was far back in 2002. And, I fell in love with the computer. And I started building myself from there. Now, again, the conviction, because I didn't want to go back to my parents' house home and start waiting for jam and all of that stuff. So I stayed there and I started building myself. Then up until, okay, but while I was doing it, I made sure I was learning, I made sure I was reading, I made sure I was doing a lot of things for self-development. But I did not stay so long there. Every single time I'm with her, every single time I stay in a particular place, like 2 months, 3 months, I find something better. So from just working with her in the business center, I started learning how to manage and someone else's business center that is not my aunt's place. And I learned to become a graphic designer using tools like Microsoft Word and the rest of them, like Word Art. Then I now moved into I found this is again part of the conviction, because I remember seeing back then, remember CD jackets, yeah. So what graphic designers that design album covers for CD jackets would do is that they will write their name and they will write their phone number. So I saw the phone number of the guy that designed nice CD jackets, and I called him and I said, "Wow, like how did you do this? What software is this?" And this was at the early point of Photoshop coming into Nigeria. And the guy told me to Photoshop. He told me to meet him up. He was going to give me the software. And I went to him. I got the software. I went back to the business center. I installed it. I now started learning. And thank God, the internet became better. I kept on going to Google. Any single tutorial I had to do, I came back to the software, kept on learning. And all that self-taught, all that self-learning, self-development of being a graphic designer, after then, I started putting up my work on Facebook. I think that was the time Facebook started as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I started putting my work on Facebook. I started putting all my stuff on there. Then I started amassing a lot of followers, a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm doing fantastic work." Because back then, I think there were only very few Nigerian graphic designers that even had a computer. And which you're right, because you need to have the device.
Absolutely.
You have to.
I think so.
Yeah, so not everybody had access to owning a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Not everybody had access to owning a personal PC. So I installed the software, I started learning, had the internet. So I was privileged enough to have these resources, available to me for me to learn. But I was convicted that this is what I wanted to do. Now, when I now got to age 19, and all of this stuff I'm saying between the ages of 16, to like 18, yeah.
Indeed.
And so when I now got to the age of 19, it was not like, okay, guy, you have to go to school. So and I said, okay, you know what? Let me go and look for. Okay, so this is what happened. I realized that, and in between all this journey, I found my way working in advertising, and I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do in my life. I'm going to do advertising, and I'm not shifting. This is what I've decided I'm going to do. I very passionate about advertising, very passionate about graphic design, very passionate about. I said something to myself. I said, oh, very soon I'm going to see my works on billboards and the rest of them.
Yeah.
So that was my conviction. That was the goal for me. Now, so when I got to 19, I was working in one of the biggest advertising firms as at then. Let me give you a
roll back a bit now, because I realize just 1 second. I'll let you continue. I hope I'm not kicking off your stride. So the thing is, immediately you said the biggest thing to know about Daniel Emeka was that I didn't go to school, and I could just see wow. All right, so everyone is really shocked. And then you now said that you're now working in one of the biggest advertising firms. How did you achieve that without the necessary certificate? Okay, so please.
Storytelling.
Yes, tell us.
Storytelling. Because I was, and it was actually branding in its way, because I was, and again, that's part of the things that we're going to be talking about today. Every single time I designed something, I was putting it on my Facebook page. I kept on putting it on my Facebook page. People kept on seeing it. And I thought back then it was a new thing, for graphic designers to keep on posting their work. And it now blew sky high. Like I had, people like P Square, The Band, Don Jazzy following me on my Facebook page. I had I designed covers for one of the band's singles. I designed stuff for Blackface. He has not paid me till now. I designed what was it? I did a lot of stuff, and it got the attention of a lot of agency creative directors, and I got an invite from a couple of creative directors. Even when I was 16, 17, I think my first foray into advertising was when I was 17. It was a very small suit, not small actually, medium-sized suit, because I worked with them on on PZ Cousins and a couple of other projects. And I went under agency. It was not as big, but I did a couple of major projects as well. But the reason why this is a highlight for me, it was because this was a standard, huge advertising agency. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is that I was 19. And think about this. This was 2005.
Yeah,
2009.
We know how old you are now, just so you.
So this was 2009. And 2009, I was earning 300,000 naira.
Wow.
Now, the reason why I'm stating this is so people can understand the magnanimity of the opportunity I had by earning 300,000 naira in 2009, which is, if you bring it to today's value, is possibly going to like 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 million, or even more.
And how old are you again? Tell me
I was
again.
19.
19.
I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah, because as of I know that I can remember back then, because as of 2009 you could rent a three bedroom flat for 60K.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's the magnanimity of the opportunity I got, and all that happened because I was branding myself on social media, and that was, for me, that was huge. And so I now decided, you know what, okay, fine, let me now go to school. But I now said, okay, let me leave out, let me try and see if I can blend both. Go to university and part time and do what you call it, and do my work on the side, So, but after 2 months of doing, I went to Unilag. Unilag said, oh, because I did sciences in secondary school, Unilag said, oh, if I want to do mass communication, I have to do arts. So I have to go back and do arts WAEC. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So I went to Yabatech. Yabatech said, oh, I could do computer science. After 2 months doing computer science and doing the work, I was like, see, I'm going to spend 4 years doing this thing that I'm never going to use, because I was convicted that this is my path. I'm going to do advertising. I'm going to push the envelopes in advertising. And I've known this for a very long time. So, and I said, you know what? I'm not doing it again. I left Yabatech. I went back working. I said, you know what? I was going to develop myself. I kept on getting pushbacks. Obviously, Nigeria is a very traditional space. When you decide and say you want to move, do things differently, people will question it. But I kept on telling people that, don't worry, I'm going to self-develop. I'm going to read. I'm going to learn how to talk. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to build my vocabulary. I'm going to read as much as I can. And I still do that till today. Self-development is very, very crucial for me. Every single project I drop on, every single content I put out is being self-developing. Do you understand? Yeah. So that, for me, has been my self journey. That's my origin story.
That's massive, baby. Let me say that, right?
Yes, so that's massive, baby.
Oh my goodness! Wow! You just generally, yeah. I mean, this is a new one, and it's difficult to recover from that. But I mean, what's important is that firstly, you started at a very, very young age, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, 16, 19, a lot of responsibility. You started earning money. I can imagine how much your portfolio is now personally, but let's not even talk about finances now. But you developed, and I mean, I was recently at a TechX conference somewhere last week, and these are guys at the forefront of AI and cybersecurity, and one of the parting words of the guy was, I think there's so much resources out there. It's on YouTube, it's on the internet, it's online, and in fact, I had the CEO of almost like 200 to 300 universities. There's this society that she runs, and the traditional institutions, I'm talking about the Yales, the Cambridges, and they are scared about what the democratization of knowledge is doing now. And I think that's something that's important, for people to see and learn.
Can I chip something in? I would dare say that in the last decade or even more, education has changed so if education had changed between if it is the space at which education was between the early 90s to early 2000s, and the space at which education was also growing between 2005 to 2010, I dare say from 2010 to 2020, anything that you had learned in those previous decades, and you decided that you're not building yourself and learning new things, you can't use it today. Because even in marketing, and again, this goes back to the conviction that I'm talking about. Even in marketing, there are factors, there are structures, there are frameworks that we used in 2020 that I cannot use now.
They are completely obsolete.
In 2020, we were talking about funnels, saying that we are going to get funnel, or we're going to put consumers into certain funnels and track them and all of that stuff. Gen Zs came up, started earning money, and destroyed the funnel.
The funnel no longer exists, right?
The funnel doesn't exist anymore. Gen Zs came, decided that, see, because at the end of the day, let me just, segue a bit. Gen Zs came, and what Gen Zs did was that before, for millennials and for Gen Xs, the money you earn is what you're spending. Yeah. Gen Zs are buying iPhones of 1.2 million naira today, and they will probably be paying for it in the next 6 months. And if you tell them as a millennial or as a Gen X that this is not financial, they don't care. They don't care.
Right.
But guess what? They are consumers.
Yeah.
Guess what? They will want to buy a laptop. Guess what? You think that they're going to wait till they start earning 2 million naira to buy a brand new HP laptop? No, they're not going to wait. They now have access to a lot of tools, a lot of opportunities. They have access to social media to crowdsource. They feel like earning capacity now, it's different. It's not as direct as for us. So how do you now want to decide who your consumer is from buying power alone?
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose out on a lot of people. So all of that understanding took me not just reading, because again, say for example, anybody that had decided that they wanted to write a paper on AI in 2020, in last year December, anything that you wrote about AI in last year December, check it again in February of 2025. There's a lot of updates that you need.
Absolutely. And you
make
a good point.
Last 2 weeks, we saw that the US stock crashed, right?
Yeah.
Because DeepSeek showed that you can actually optimize the operational and spending limits of how you build AI systems. Do you understand? So a lot of things are changing. The education is just moving as well.
Absolutely. So education knowledge is changing rapidly.
Rapidly.
And then one has to, if you have to succeed, and that's why we also say that you have to be at the cutting edge, at the forefront of knowledge and education. I mean, up until 5, 6 years ago, who was talking about AI and cybersecurity? And now that's exactly what's the sing song. Okay.
Let me even add to that. Sorry, let me even add to that, because it actually would segue into the conversations that we have today. And it's actually a very good foundation into the conversations that we're going to have today. Because even the guys that are building these AI systems, they themselves do not believe that there are some guys I follow on TikTok that are very strong AGI enthusiasts. And they are getting reports that AI itself is going around the internet and buying stuff by itself.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you why this is a fact. On NVIDIA's page and places to buy, they have stuff that is only available to buy from an AI system, not for humans. So anything that you thought that you knew about AI in December, check again. So it's things are changing. Absolutely. And if you don't pursue it, you just lose.
You're hitting a raw nerve, right? I was at an AI conference just early this week, and some of the things that I heard were completely mind blowing. I mean, AI getting consciousness, but that's not the conversation that we are going to even have today, right? But okay, so let's talk about brand identity. Okay, so let's segue into, and I think you started the conversation. So let's talk about the basics, right? And I know one of the first things you're going to say, obviously, is that you probably do not need a certificate, but to build a brand identity, and I know that's the truth. But I want to let's take it as a case study. Tiwa, I like to use names, is a budding creator. The market is crowded. As it always is, and you can imagine the fight for air, for space. All right. How can she build an audience, and make a name for herself organically? Now, don't forget that there are two things. Tiwa is a creator; she has a product that she's selling, and then she wants to build an audience that will give her a name, but also help her sell her product. What can she do? basic things she needs to do now, to be able to stand out, Emeka? Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think people need to understand one thing and one thing clearly. The value of a brand is a combination of compound effects of everything that you do in this life. Yeah. So every single thing that you do as a human being compounds into you as a brand. Now, I would dare say that me being here on this live session is not necessarily because of my internet what's the name? It's not necessarily alone because of my internet personality. Yeah? It's probably triggered it, but it's not necessarily alone. Now let me explain just backstory of the history of the compound effects that I'm talking about. Now, when I met you at the gym and I was
that's one thing that we don't know yet. That's
exactly
something we should say, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I just want to explain the idea of compound effect.
Yeah, but you're right, absolutely.
If when I met you at the gym, I was disrespectful or I acted a certain way, if immediately it will not give me the opportunity to be here. Now, if when we met at the event, I did not come correct, I did not smell nice, or I did not look good, I did not speak well, or I was embarrassing, I probably will not be here. Now, but when if in all of those spaces I did not tick your box, but you now saw me online, you probably say it's pretending. And it's not going to now result into this. So, my conversation to Tiwa is building a good brand starts from clarity of understanding who you want to be. Now, good is subjective. Yeah. Some people hate Kanye.
Yeah.
Some people understand him. To a certain section of the world or a large section of the world, Kanye is an asshole. Pardon my French. But to a small section that gets whatever he's playing at, Kanye is a genius. And his clarity or his understanding is he doesn't want to pander to the percentage of people that feel like he's an asshole. Only business are to the people that understands what he's probably doing. Yeah. Now, once there's a clarity of saying, okay, this is who I want to be, this is how I want to live my life, or this is what I want to stand for, then you now start building yourself from there. Now, that's why I'm not saying, that's why the reason, and this is the reason why I'm putting it this way, because I'm not saying you should go to the gym and start smiling with everybody. I'm not saying that you should go to an event and start talking to everybody. Now, it is important that I, as a business owner and as a business owner, as a creator, as a marketing person that is looking for work and looking for money and looking for connections to be able to have a sustainable future, I need to be able to identify the people that I feel like in the nearest future will be able to build that bridge for me. Hence the reason why, by the time I understand it and I know that, okay, fine, it doesn't mean that, so that means that I have to make sure that I'm in my best behavior, because these guys at some point one day will have to stick their neck out for me. They are not going to come and bring a job and drop it on my lap. They have to be able to say, oh, don't worry, give Daniel 30 million naira, he's going to deliver. Now, that is the reason why I was talking about the compound effect. Because if, for example, somebody else that is supposed to be making that decision with money in future, or another business of the person, is probably silently listening to this live, the person will say, he's a young chap, he speaks very well, he talks very well, da 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 da. Now, I've not gotten to the place where I need to do anything with the person or interact with the person, but just the understanding, the sight, the feeling, the hearing of who I am or what I'm doing, direct impact, hearing from some other person, all that compound effect now turns Tiwa into what people want to take that from her. Because at the end of the day, the things that Tiwa is going to come out and say as a creator, it's not as if she's the only person in this world that can say it or that is saying it. I can hear it from somebody else. Do you understand? I can Google it. I can go to AI and get the answers from what Tiwa is saying. But I like Tiwa. Why? Now, I might not be able to pinpoint it, but it is a compound effect of a lot of things. Some people like me today because, yes, I hit the nail on the head when it comes to marketing. Some people like me because I probably have a fine face. I don't know. Some people like me because of my kids. Some people, do you understand? You never know the reason why these things happen. But by the time you have a clarity of who you want to be and you build yourself in that part, do you understand? All the other contextual conversations, that will now start falling in line. So, in clear terms, Tiwa, understand and decide and define who you want to be. So, I want to be a this. Targeting who? Who do you want most to relate to you? I want this set of people to be able to relate to me. Do you understand? Then, once all of that has been put into consideration, then you now mold yourself around those points that you've decided that this is exactly how you want to tour your path and how you want to live your life.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. Is there a case to be made for the product, right? The product itself, as opposed to the well, not the person, but to the image. All right. I heard Vusi, and I know a lot of people follow Vusi, who was saying that you don't need. He said you don't need to make an extraordinary product. You just need to make a product that is above average, that is standard, and then talk about it well, and then sell it. That the fame and the profit and everything comes really about how you sell the product. All right. So for you, for example, and I know you've mentioned it, but I just want you to talk a bit about it. Where you said it's not like I'm the best, right? But I'm confident about talking about what I do, right? So for the creators, for the inventors, for the entrepreneurs, and the tech guys who are in the audience, is there a case to be made for the product itself, making your product cutting edge itself, as opposed to selling it, which is what really branding is about?
So again, at the end of the day, when it comes to being authoritative and being a thought leader in a certain space, again, you need to be able to choose the space where you know that you're really authentic in that space. It's now becoming very evident those that don't know what they are saying in certain subject fields. Why? Because there is now so much voices around different conversations these days. So even you as a person, or you as a person that don't know anything about it, by the time you hear the person talk about the thing the person is saying, you probably you start second guessing. Does this person actually know what the person is saying?
Right?
Yeah. Does this person actually know what it's talking about? Now, also, there's also the idea of there are conversations or topics that you're going to have that does not have one answer. There are different perspectives, especially in marketing. Marketing has different perspectives, different perceptions. There are different routes to markets that you can actually go, and not everything is wrong, but you need to be able to figure out, okay, if you are standing by your own position and you know that this is exactly your direction, then you need to confidently be able to say it. So yes, you're right. You need to speak about the things that you know that you know. You understand? You can't come out tomorrow and say, fine, okay, I want to put a video in my face and I want to start talking. What do you know? What I told Son in one of the class I had before, like, if somebody wakes you up from sleep today and says, talk about this thing, what can you talk about in the most confident and convenient way? Because and the truth about the matter is that even as you're building yourself as a creator, if you're not speaking around the conversations that you know, you will burn out. Do you understand? You will burn out. You won't. And also when you are now speaking, also when you're now choosing topics or choosing angles of conversations that you're going to be pushing out, you will end up seeing that You're repeating certain topics. You're not delving into different areas. You're not trying to find different because in one topic in branding, there are multiple areas that you can, hundred thousands of conversations that you can have around branding. But if you do not know branding and you decide to chat GPT your questions, you're only going to get a repetition of, you can't, chat GPT is just going to keep repeating all the distance. Do you understand? So I remember one of my former staff saying something to me. She said, boss, you're posting every day, or you're posting frequently. Are you sure you're not going to run out of content?
Yeah.
Me, on every single conversation, I know what to say. Like there are different conversations, there are different things to talk about in every single topic. Do you understand? So it's always about, do you know it?
Yeah.
So if you don't know it, you can't just always be scripting, because these days, what I realized is that I don't do scripts anymore.
So you just freestyle.
What I do is, so I do talking points. So I remember certain keywords, and by the time I see those talking points, and I say, okay, this is what I wanted to say here. Then I merge and I edit and I put it together. Share it at the end of the day. You have to know what you're talking about.
Is there a way to build yourself to that level, or is this just gift?
No,
or is it Messi, or is it Ronaldo?
So you can exactly, you can Messi it. So Messi in it is you're lucky. Do you understand? You're lucky. You have the talent.
So is Daniel Emeka lucky, or is Daniel Emeka burning it? Because you do both, right? You burn the midnight car.
So even Messi works hard though.
Well, I mean, we just don't see it. I mean, the way he plays is difficult to replicate it, right?
Yes. Okay. So let me give you on that topic. Let me give you there's this thing I heard that what's his name, that Beckham, which is the club owner, said. Beckham said that on the day that Messi was supposed to play his first match, Messi got to the pitch before every other person. Do you understand? So sometimes you do not see the hard work because it comes with a flair. Yeah. And again, say for example, I value my idea, I value the talent that I have a lot more than the hours that I put into the work. I work hard though, I work really hard, but I value the fact that I can see when I'm scrolling through the same thing 6 other people are scrolling through. There are certain things I'm going to see that gives me that's it.
So
do you understand?
That keen insight is talent. It's not.
It's talent.
You can't train your eyes to be that sharp.
It's talent. Okay. It's talent. But this is how to build it.
That's how I think I want the people to see, and if they can learn. Yeah.
So this is how you build that. Yeah. Even if you can't get that, naturally, how you build it is feedback loop. So you have to be conscious of a feedback loop. Yeah, and your feedback loop are your followers, your friends, people that are enjoying your content. Do you understand? And thank God for the algorithm these days. On if you go on TikTok, which is great, the people that actually see your content are the people that are not following you. Most of the people that see your content are those that are not even following you. Okay, so when you especially when you're starting, your focus should not be on the amount of likes or followers you're getting.
Yeah. That's difficult not to look at for most people nowadays. You know that, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's very. I don't know why people are so. See, guys, I this. I was telling I used to remove my metrics. That's the number of likes I used to get on my stuff, because again, for some people that don't listen, they put it as a perception of the quality of my content. But I keep on telling people that, see, don't worry about this thing. So I now told them, you know what, I'm not going to hide it anymore. Everybody should see it. The day I get 4,000 likes, see it. The day I get 100 likes, see it. At the end of the day, what you end up seeing is that you can't always build content. All your content cannot be for everybody. Sometimes you're going to create mass market content. Sometimes you're going to create niche-based content.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Even within your followers. Like say, for example, my friend, my best friend doesn't comment on my content. He at most he likes. My best friend doesn't comment on my content at all. So I posted the content recently that did not do great. It just did like about 200 likes in a couple of hours. I was like, it's good. But my best friend, who is a general counsel for one of the biggest investment firms in the world, commented and did a full paragraph.
Oh my goodness!
For the first time, I was like, okay, it looks like I did something great today. So you know what?
So even though it was not validated by
even if it was not, but his own comments and a couple of other people's comments are like, you know what, it's good, we are good to go. So that feedback loop, again, when you are conscious of the feedback loop, it makes you understand, one, the quality of your work, the appeal of your work, the tonality of what you should be driving at. All of that is quite important. So when you start getting all of this feedbacks and you now start, internalizing it, the next time you're shooting a video, you get better. You now start adding it. You start adding it. You now start adding it. You now start adding it until you now finally build a unique self. And when you now build a unique self, automatically you just start seeing people flooding. That who is this guy? He's now different. Oh, he's not like this person. He's a different person. Do you understand? So that feedback loop is cool.
And then they will go back to all the other contents that you thought didn't have.
Exactly. They will now go back to
and then it becomes a big thing. Okay, so that great. Excuse me. Now, guys, I hope you're listening and learning. We have so many geniuses and techie guys in the audience. And no, if there's anything I would also like to reiterate in this conversation so far, is the fact that there is the part for talent, where you're really talented, you know what to do. But honestly, you also need to put hard work. Please don't be deceived, though. Even though Dan Emeka is telling you that, he's talented, it's difficult to reach this man. The guy walks into the middle of the night and he burns the midnight oil, because there's stuff that hard work only can do. And that's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. People don't realize, and I've said this before. I'll just give you these two examples. I don't know. I mean, some people think Messi is the best footballer in the world. Some people think Ronaldo is the best footballer in the world. But the greatest marketer I've ever seen is Cristiano Ronaldo. That guy is an amazing marketer. And, and in that department, I think he floors Messi
150%,
effortlessly, and that's why there's the conversation around who the greatest is.
So Ronaldo is a bigger brand. It's 5 times the better brand.
Look at what we're saying. There's and there's one thing as well. I mean, I don't know, for those who fly. At some point, the Emirates airline came out and their marketing and branding was out of this world, right? And a lot of people didn't even realize that they were not the 5-star airline. The 5-star airline was Qatar Airways. So Qatar Airways was the 5-star airline, but was not doing as much marketing and branding like Emirates. And Emirates was considered to be far better. But until you experience both, you realize that, oh, hang on, it's actually Qatar. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's a mix of both. All right, guys, please put your questions in the comments if you want. There's the question part. Someone was asking, can we mix brand identity with AI? We'll come to that AI question eventually, Daniel. But let's talk about technicalities. What are these technologies that will redefine branding over the next 5 years? I'm talking about the technologies. All right.
Yeah.
You do very technical work, so let's talk about that. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think your mobile phone is the biggest asset that you're going to have in building your brand. I dare say, the mobile phone, and this is the reason why government policymakers are scared. The mobile phone is a tool that can make or break the most valuable brands in the world. And once you own a mobile phone, the way you utilize your mobile phone is very, very, okay. You can have your mobile phone and be using it to watch TikTok every day and not do anything.
True.
And you can have your mobile, that same mobile phone, and use it to shoot content. Same tool, but the value between you, this person here, and this person here could be worth billions of naira.
True.
Billions of naira. I keep giving the example of in most of my videos I keep giving the example of Elon Musk, Tony Elumelu, and the reason why I do that, is because these two people, they are two of the richest people in the world. But you see the mobile phones on their hand, for them is a lot more valuable than even the money in the bank. They understand the importance of it. Hence, see, for example, Musk decided to go and buy Twitter. Why? Because he amassed so much influence on Twitter, using Twitter. He kept on getting flaks from the government of the US, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this platform. Just because he was using his phone. Now, if at the most basic level, your phone has abilities to download apps and get you access to the world. So you have the same access Tinubu has. You have the same access Daniel has. You have the same access Elon Musk has. You have the same access everybody has. So at the most basic level, it's a leveler. Yeah? Now, the question now becomes, then again, your phone has the same camera that, has every other person has. Do you understand? So, I hope, you have enough money to buy a phone that has at least a good enough quality camera. Do you understand? At least the most basic form. I'm not saying that you go and start looking for iPhone 15 or 16 or at the most basic level, even an iPhone 11 or even iPhone 6s, 7s. Those ones have good cameras. I think from the 6s, 7s, and to the technos of this world, these are great cameras. As long as you can see your face well. Do you understand? At the most basic level, the camera, the voice, the access to the world is at the most basic level of what you use to build your brand. Because one, this is what it does, and this is how it because back in the day, now let me go back to the initial basics of branding that used to happen back in the day. So if you want to brand yourself as a person, you were going to spend at least hundreds of thousands of naira back then. Let's say before advent of social media, doing some type of communique on business day. You would call Ovation magazine to come and cover your wedding. You would go to what's the name? You put some type of say, for example, if you want to say you're married, you go to one newspaper to say, oh, me and this person are finally married. So you always needed to go to the newspaper to do something for certain, or you go to certain events places where there are pictures or videos. Do you understand? So that used to be the idea of branding back in the day. Or and at that time, everybody wanted to be at one particular wedding or the other, so the person can take a picture with somebody, so the person can end up landing in Ovation magazine. That used to be personal branding back in the day. Everybody was fighting for that, and the only people that could access it were people like Ogamani. Even me. I know if you
only because of our age. The Gen Zs probably don't understand what you're talking about.
Sorry, Gen Zs, no vex. You guys do not know the struggle. That used to be our Facebook. That used to be our Instagram. Do you understand? Ovation magazine and the rest. Now, when these social media apps started coming up, and when the influence of social media started coming, it now leveled the playing field. Yeah, and that's the reason why you can see Lai. Now, I'm not saying Lai just started and automatically blew up, but it only took him like 4 or 5 years to get to his peak. The same thing with what's the name? The same thing with every other person. 4 or 5 years, they get to their peak. They are charging 6 million, 7 million for one video, which never used to happen in any single time. Now, we have now moved away from the idea of monetizing your listing as an influencer. Yeah, but just as a person, the fact that you can take a picture, post, the fact that you can join the conversation and you can add your context to the conversation, the fact that you can, somebody say something and you can counter it, with your own observation, your own perspective, is branding.
Yeah.
Is branding. Yeah. So I am not saying that you should become a joker or you should become a comedian like Lai and the rest of them. Or I am not saying that you should, do all of that. All I'm saying is, please, again, let's go back to that clarity. Understand who you want
Absolutely.
to be. Then make best use
of
your phone.
Absolutely.
Make best use of your phone and don't be scared.
Let me just say this, and I think it's a nice story to tell. We tell stories here, by the way. I mean, I don't know if you guys know Mark Angel.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, for people who use fantastic cameras, who use great, graphics and all of that, their content is pretty basic, very basic. I don't even know the quality of the cameras. I mean, back in the days, I don't know if it's changed. I don't see his content a lot nowadays. However, they identified their audience very quickly, and the audience was not even Nigeria. They were not big in Nigeria, Africa. They were big in Asia, in the Asian part of the world. I had some foreign colleagues back in the days who came to visit us in Nigeria, and they were like, have you seen Mark Angel? They were so excited, and I was like, who Mark Angel? I was like, which Mark Angel? Because in terms of quality of content for us in Nigeria, that really wasn't the greatest, content.
Yeah.
These guys had identified their audience. They had
Their
identified
niche.
and their niches exactly. And with the most basic tools that they had, they were pushing their content, to the market where it mattered. And recently now, a lot of people are cleaning out on YouTube and all of that. These guys were doing it long time ago before people even realized that there was money to be made in that section. So I think this just speaks a lot to what Daniel has been saying. There's some questions that people are asking, and I think we probably will not even have time for all of these questions. And maybe you can touch just 2-3 sentences, and then we'll move on. It says, I have a project, a technological solution. I am a day loves tech. He says, I'm good in programming, but the problem is I cannot brand my project for people to see. My question is, how can I achieve a proper branding? Who do I need to collaborate, and who are the people I need in my team? Is one question. Do you understand the question? You just want to give one or two?
I get it. Okay, I get it. So it's good that you know what you know the problem that you have, and it's also good that you know the solution to it. Yes. Sometimes marketing is not black and white. It's not just you posting. Yeah. Especially when it concerns business. It's not your personal life. When it concerns your work, when it concerns your business, you need to find a way to collaborate with people that you feel like can direct you in a way to a particular place where you can confidently say, okay, fine, this is where you want to be. Sure, you get. So yes, find people you can collaborate with. Look, there are a lot of very talented marketing people on social media. Follow them, hear them out, get what they have to say, then enter a couple of their DMs. Do you understand? Now, I know that people like me will be enticing to you. Very expensive. Money. But look for younger people that can direct you, that can collaborate with you and push you to direction. Especially now that that you're just starting. And then build from there. But collaborate. Because there's something I noticed that is changing in the tech world. Sorry, in 10 seconds. Something I know that is changing. Before, people used to only look for CTOs for CTO co-founders. That's technical co-founders. Now, people are now looking for marketing co-founders because they know that it's not just about creating the tool, you have to eventually sell it. So yes, find a way to collaborate.
And that's key. If there's anything if there's anything you want to go home with today, and for all the creators here, the product is great. Selling it is even better.
Trust me. Better, man.
The product is great, but selling it is better. You have to sell what you produce. Okay, so let's talk about this AI thing. AI is revolutionizing branding, and honestly, Daniel, I from where I sit, what I see with what AI is doing is for the lack of a better word, is scary, right? And it's not just basic AI that people are talking about ChatGPT. I'm talking about AI that is writing code, AI that is doing crazy stuff, inclusive of strategies for branding, etc. So first question will be, how can you build with AI? All right, and using it effectively. All right. I was at an AI conference again. I mentioned that. Let me tell you one of the words that stuck, and I'm going to build some content around it in the days to come. They say it is not AI that is going to take people's jobs, but the people who are using AI are the ones who will take people's jobs.
Bam.
All right.
Bam,
so that stuck with me. I mean, I was like, oh my God, that was massive. Okay, so how do we
bam.
integrate AI into this thing about branding ourselves and standing out in the crowd, please?
One word, data. Now let me tell you why.
Okay.
So AI feeds on AI feeds on a knowledge base.
Mm,
Yeah, and if you cannot augment a knowledge base,
mm,
it is you can't build, you can't utilize AI.
mm,
Now, say for example, the reason why I cannot leave ChatGPT for any other new one is
not
because
even DeepSeek.
all I can't leave ChatGPT for this week, and let me tell you why. Because I have built a knowledge base
Yeah.
of my questions over a period for more than 1 year on ChatGPT.
Mm.
I can't take all of that to
DeepSeek,
what's
for
the name to
example.
DeepSeek. I have to start all over from again for DeepSeek because, for example, now I can go to my ChatGPT and tell me how I've improved in the last this thing, and it's going to tell me. Do you understand? Based on my conversations, my voice conversations, do you understand? So my ChatGPT, and again, thank God that I use the pro version. My ChatGPT is my knowledge base. Yeah. So based on that, I use that. It understands what I'm looking for. It understands the content I want to build. It understands my when I want to start working on strategies, when I want to do my research. ChatGPT gets what I'm looking for. It gets. Do you understand? So I don't have to start again. So
Sounds like a companion already. Gets me.
exactly.
ChatGPT gets me.
But do you know why? It's because of the knowledge base.
Yeah, you
So
worked with it for quite a while. Yeah.
for a while. So if you want to fully utilize AI,
Mm,
yeah, you need to make sure you feed it with as much of you as you want, as you can.
mm,
Feed it with as much of
mm,
you.
mm.
Take full advantage of the voice this thing on platforms like ChatGPT and talk. Do you understand? Oh, this is what I'm doing. This is the work I'm doing. Da 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 da, and just keep talking. What it does is that over time it builds a knowledge base. Now that's one aspect.
Mm.
Now, if you want to now be a lot more intentional, yeah, there's a new tool called AI agents. Yeah, the AI agent is also a place where you can build knowledge bases of different aspects of your life, your business, your everything. Do you understand? Your career, your CV, you can put everything in there. Anything about your life, anything about your business, you can use AI agents. Now, when you use those AI agents, what it ends up doing is that it ends up feeding you as it calls out all of those knowledge bases that you fed it and use it, and it can deconstruct, it can interact, it can what probe. It can do a lot of things with all the information that you have given it. Do you understand?
Mm.
And that's how to be a bit more intentional when using AI. But this is what I believe. I believe that even AI agents are going to be obsolete very soon because there's a new one called operator that is now here.
Mm.
Operator, what operator does now is that when you tell operator what to do, operator would actually deep research what you want to do, go online, do what you and come back to you and give you the answer. Operator can actually, if you tell operator, see, guy, I'm tired, help me book a ticket to France for tomorrow and look for a hotel that is no more than $100. Operator will go book the ticket, come back to you, ask you for your payment, pay for it, get the hotel. Operator will do all of that. Do you understand? Currently, as of now, I'm not even talking of future iterations. Do you understand? So that's why I think that even that is going to change. As in, even the agent is going to change. Because if I have an operator that is like Jarvis, who watches Iron Man here, that is like Jarvis, and I say, see, operator,
It's getting
please,
there.
I'm going to that. It's just that it's here,
Mm.
bro. It's
Mm,
here.
mm,
You know what I'm
mm,
saying? That's the thing. Like, so it's so when so the only way it can do all of that is when you have a strong knowledge base. So what you can do now
yeah.
as a person is make sure that all the make sure that you have a very good filing system. Everything about your life, your business, your career, put them in folders. Do you understand? Document them.
Document. right? That's a theme.
Document all of that. Yeah, document all of the things. Document all of things. Your, if it's your spending patterns, you want create an Excel sheet, document it. Anything that you want to do, because as of now, AI cannot enter your brain yet. but document all the things that you can document, because when you want to now take the full advantage of AI, it's all those things that you've documented
that it'll work with.
Actually use.
Fantastic.
Now, obviously, there's the caveat of privacy. There's a caveat of your
ethical AI,
ethical AI, and the rest of them. So be careful on the platforms that you put your stuff in. But you need to have good enough knowledge base for it to work. So document everything that you need for it to be able to work perfectly for you.
Cool. So I mean, for the question being answered is how you can leverage AI in building your brand. All right. So it's there for the taking. People who know how to use it effectively will always look. I'm not second guessing. Will always be one step ahead of you. And I tell you this, and I line up. These people who can leverage AI will always be one step ahead of you. And this is just talking about it as an assistant to where you want to get to.
Let me give people my practical use of AI. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yes, please.
So I go to my voice function, and I'm like, and this is the conversation. Hey, yo, what's up now? How are you? So I just thought about something. I just needed to help me, do this. Oh yeah, hi Daniel. How is your day? All right. So tell me, what are you thinking about? All right. So Kanye has been and this is what you did. So this is my perspective. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I think Kanye is doing. Oh, you're right, because this, But there is also this other aspect. Okay, I'll not say, all right, we've had this conversation. Can you critique everything that I just said? It will not say, all right, so these are the cons of that. It is that personal.
Yeah, having
that
a conversation
is the way.
With someone.
Do you understand? I'm having a conversation with a better me.
Of course.
Guess what? And that's the reason why I was talking about continuous education and continuous improvement.
Absolutely.
The fact that I have this back and forth conversation, it's almost like you're having a brainstorming body by your side. Normally you don't want to call your colleague or your junior or subordinate and start chatting because you'll be like, I don't want to disturb this person. But the fact that you are having a conversation with somebody that is there, right there on hand, it's crazy.
Doesn't have mental health issues.
It doesn't have mental health issues. The person is not Gen Z. Gen Z is not very
No, we did not say Gen Z, please. Okay, let's not go there.
Yeah, sorry. So somebody said prompt engineering.
Yeah.
See, we are way past prompt engineering. We are way past prompt engineering. Let me tell you why. If you use O3 Mini, O3 Mini is even too far. If you use O1, let me tell you what O1 does today. In short, if you use DeepSeek, I think DeepSeek will give you in transparently what it's doing. Any prompt you put, the what's the name? The O1 version and the DeepSeek version, what it does now is that it will tell you, all right, this user wants to hear this thing, but it looks like this user does not understand what he wants.
Oh, wow.
So I am going to look at this conversation from this other context, because this user might be expect. So it is no longer about prompt engineering. It's no longer about prompt engineering. It helps you think and gives a better approach. If you put a wrong analysis, if you put a wrong stuff and say, Champions League of this, it will say, this user obviously does not know that Champions League did not happen on this day. So this user is probably thinking about this Champions League that happened on this other day. So since this is the nearest one, I am going to go back. That's what it does now.
That's how DeepSeek does it as well. I know.
And even O1, even O3, and the advanced reasoning. Yeah. That's what it does. So I think before, I know a lot of, I see a lot of courses come out to say, learn how to be a prompt engineer. So I mean, pass that.
And so
something else in there.
Yeah, and so many other things. I mean, what you've just done is, talking about the conversation you have with AI, you have just rendered executive assistant jobless, data analyst jobless.
So that's the mistake. That's the mistake. I used to think the same way, okay. But this is the thing. Yeah. So my wife started as as an EA, yeah, back when she started. But what I now started noticing is that obviously her growth, how brilliant she is, how how important she is in the lives of all the C-suite people she has been working for. Her job role started changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what she now started realizing is that you're not going to be hiring EAs anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to be hiring strategy assistants, because you are 150 million% sure that you don't need to teach them strategy anymore. They only have to have logical understanding of the framework of what you're looking for, and ChatGPT and AI are going to provide the strategy for you. That's basically what's happening. So the role changes. So you're obviously still going to be having your EAs. Do you understand? But their role is changing. It's not going to be send me a mail anymore. It's not going to be go to sleep. It's going to be, oh, please, draw me an analysis of the last 5 years of this person. And you know that this person will be able to deliver because she now has the tool.
Yeah. And Daniel, I mean, people are just shocked that you're married. Okay, yeah, he's married. He has kids. Yeah. They're there, but it's there.
It's there.
Yeah, spiritually. All right, cool. So great one. I mean, and this is crazy conversation, and we've moved even into the AI element of this. Let me do something very quickly. I mean, just as we round up, so because I know people are eager to win a laptop. I'll tell you what we call this myths versus facts, and this is like short answers. A logo equals a brand. True or false?
False.
Tell us 1 or 2 lines why.
If the only line I'll tell you is that your Nike logo just looks like a letter. Your all logos are obsolete. UBA is just UBA. Do you understand? It's not the brand.
But there's brand. What about brand recognition, right? So for example, let me give you an example. I see someone just walks onto his screen, and then he's adjusting his tie or wearing his shoe or he's lifting up his socks, and I say, that's Daniel Emeka. He hasn't said anything, but it's brand recognition. In fact, then if someone else does it, they say this is Daniel Emeka's style in a sense. So is it completely obsolete? Question.
So no, it's not. So there's a recognition. Yeah. There's an identity.
Yes.
Is a logo? Is the logo part of a brand identity? Yes.
Yes.
But is the logo a brand?
No. Fantastic. Exactly. Okay, cool. Very clear. Branding is only for big business. I'm talking about the big billions. That's false, right?
Everybody needs branding. Everybody, individuals. Everybody needs to brand. Everybody needs to have an understanding of branding. Yes.
Okay, so this one is interesting. A great product can sell itself. It doesn't need marketing. How can that be dismantled? Somebody mentioned that actually as a question. Let me see if I can remember the question. He says that Lamborghini, and he mentioned some of the big brands that don't really do advertising or marketing, and
they do marketing.
Please
they do marketing.
Educate us on
they
that.
Do marketing. No, if you think don't ever say that Lamborghini does not do marketing. The obvious marketing that you can see Lambo and this thing is the Grand Prix. Do you understand?
Let me even tell you something. If you don't see Lamborghini, Bugatti, and all of that, if you don't see Ferraris, if you don't see their branding, because you are not their customer.
Exactly. That's the reason why they are only in places where their customers are going to be.
Simple and short. Simple and short.
Simple, exactly.
But they do.
I used to think that Mercedes was not in Nigeria.
Really? Okay.
They're in Banana Island, though.
I know.
They're in Banana Island, though.
All
right. So yes, a great product doesn't need marketing. True, because again, but what you need to understand is that a great product in itself is marketing. Do you understand? So if you build a great product, that means it is marketing in itself. Now, are there other layers of marketing that needs to be done? Or maybe what you're asking is, if a great product does not need advertising, a great product needs advertising, or Now, let me tell you why. Because when you create that great product, if you're the first mover and you create that great product, yes, and you're lucky, yeah, you're the first mover, obviously at that particular time, people need you, you're pushing out your products, people will come and look for you. But as an Igbo man, when I see that, I will bring in a similar product. Because my people at my back here will not have to start going to Egbeda to go and look for you. So I'll look for the products for my people in Maryland. Yes? Then somebody else will now do his own in Yaba, another person will do his own in this thing. Then at some point, somebody will now come and say, you know what, I want to take all over Lagos. The person that wants to take all over Lagos, what will the person do? The person will do advertising. So the person will now say, okay, all of you in Maryland, Yaba, in Kotun, everywhere. The reason why you should buy from me is that, it will say something, the person will say something else, and that's advertising. Then the person will now say, oh, and I can deliver to you. That's, after sales. Sure you get, again, marketing. Sure you get. So a great product at some point, at the initial point, if you're the first mover, you can debate that. You might not need advertising. Yeah, you use other subsets of marketing like sales, like direct marketing and all of that, but you're still going to do marketing either way. Do you understand? But advertising, if you're first mover, you can run away from it.
Cool, clear. More marketing always means better results.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Any context to that?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a content I wanted to push out yesterday. Yeah, and this, and I'll push it out on Monday. But let me give you the expose here. I see a lot of people. I don't know. A lot of people have seen these crypto coins and meme coins. Some people will invest now. It will skyrocket. Then when a large amount of people take it out, it's just a lot of marketing initiatives today are like those crypto rock pools, yeah, or like MMM. Do you understand? Where if one person take out a huge chunk of their money, every other person,
comes crashing down.
A lot of people, a lot of marketing initiatives are like that, yeah, that are not optimized for sustainability, yeah. So, and they are not consistently iterated, because the reason why marketing fails is that you push something into the market and you expect it to just live a life on its own without constantly looking into it and reiterating for consumer, for it. Let me put it this way: it's so because your consumers at some point will get tired, yes, and it now becomes very predictable, and automatically what they just do is that they blank you, yeah. So what you constantly do is you find ways. That's the reason why we have go-to-market plans. Yeah, you find ways to be able to break your campaign into different opportunities, where at different experience points, your customers can have a different feel of your marketing. So if at the initial point you start with your billboard, radio, blah 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 blah, fine, good. I have heard about you. Thank you. Stop disturbing my radio. I want to listen to music. But I now enter into a shop, yeah, and I'll see one of these things close to this thing. Fine. Oh, okay. I've seen that. Oh, that looks fine. Fine. Okay, I'm not interacting with you at that point. That's okay. That's cool. And I'll go to one event and I'll see that my favorite actor is wearing a t-shirt with that brand's logo. And I say, okay, fine. I don't hear. Waiting at the sell. Yeah. Then I probably have not buy. Okay, I'll think about it. Then I now come on social media the next day and I'll see a creator showing me how to use the product. So there are different contexts in which you've been able to apply your marketing to be able to convince people to be able to use you. So it does not necessarily mean that you do the same thing over and over and over again. It means that you need to be able to, stagger it in different contextual ways for you to be able to now get that person to make the right decision.
All right. Yeah, fantastic. There's the omni-channel. There's a lot of things. There's a word you put it. It's what's that first word you started with? Where you're talking about it's like more holistic than it is individualistic.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean. Okay, so it's a user journey. Yes, you're right. You're right. So that's what Rosalind has said. And thanks, guys. I mean, What we will always do anyway is to put this on our YouTube channel. I mean, because so many things have been said, and I think I got excited a lot talking with Daniel. I think we can talk forever on AI, honestly, and how it's affecting marketing. It's really, really crazy. But I mean, well, if it's anything, I mean, just to talk about AI is
can I just
okay.
chip like 2 seconds there?
All right,
So
no problem.
this is what AI is doing to marketing, and I'm just going to keep it brief.
Yeah.
What AI is now doing to marketing is that all those processes, all those your marketing processes that you've been doing before, those things that feel so very mathematical, that feel so very repetitive. Like, say for example, collecting reports, like pushing an ad, like commenting on somebody's post, like even posting on social media, like being always on social media, like responding to DMs, all of those stuff. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying in the future. Now you can use AI. Now you can use AI to do it. AI can actually post. AI can actually read through your comments. AI can look through your competition. AI can respond to your DMs. AI can collect data. AI can push ads. AI can do a lot of stuff today. You would only sit down and focus on more of the creative aspects. Do you understand? So yeah, AI has really entered marketing. Yeah.
All right, cool. Guys, I mean, just show some love to Daniel. He's been amazing. Absolutely great. Thank you so much.
Gen Z says like this now these days.
Is it this?
They say this is love sign now.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic.
Yes, now.
Oh,
This is a love sign now. It's no longer this one. This one is for us.
For us.
The one is like this now. The one is like this.
All right, cool. Like I said, we'll put this out on the channel if you want to listen to it again. It's there for you. The nuggets are ageless, and I think there's a lot to learn. So now we're going to go into the the one that people have been waiting for, which is the laptop. I'll tell you how it will go. There's a pitch form we opened almost a week or 2 weeks before the live, and you expected to have gone in there, put in the pitch of your life, and write really well. I tell people you can even ask ChatGPT or AI to help you write, as long as it's personalized and we know it's coming from you. It's okay, but you must put in the effort, right? People can't just, somebody went in there last time and said, why do you want to win a laptop? You say, just because I want to. I mean, and people take a lot of these things for granted. The laptop we give you is over $500,000 naira, by the way. All right, it's a good investment. Forget about the money. It's a good investment into your tech career. It's the starting point. Most of the griots that we've had here, a lot of them, their lives changed. I'm sure you didn't even notice when Daniel was saying, when they got access to computers, their lives turned around completely. And so we are taking it upon ourselves, put our money where our mouth is, and help people get access to these devices. So you're meant to go in, fill in the pitch form, and then there's a grading system, almost like an ATS system, and then the best pitches are brought forward here. We would typically bring 5 to 6 people to come and do the pitch out of the people who have pitched on the forms, and then our guest will choose who the best is. But of course, because everyone is a winner, every of the 5 or 6 people that eventually make it to the pitch form will go home with at least 1 month of data. And you do know that the government wants to increase the price of data, but at least every person will go in for data, because that data is like the fuel, the engine you need to do your journey. And please don't use the data and go and be browsing TikTok. And I mean, if it's for business, it's absolutely fine. But use it to invest in yourself so that you can make some progress in your tech journey. Okay, so once we do the pitch, Daniel is going to listen to it, and he's going to do the grading and the scoring. He's not going to announce the winner now, because he's also going to go and read the ones you wrote, and then based on that cumulative, he's going to decide on who he's going to give the laptop to, and then he'll announce it on his page. All right, and he'll tag us, of course, to say this is the person I've identified, who has won, and then and then we can celebrate the person, induct the person into the SCA. So if there's anything I'd like to say to you guys, is please put attention. I want us to come and say, wow, we had 20 entries that we just could not ignore. All right, we've had cases where 700 people have made entries, 500, 200, 100 people. Minimum is typically 100 now. But we then sieve it. We want to be able to say, these entries are so good, we have to bring 10 people. We haven't gotten there yet, but hopefully we will. But we'll keep doing this every month, like and we want to scale. So eventually we'll start giving out 4 or 5 laptops at once. But just keep tuned and keep listening and stay tuned. Okay, I've said a lot. Let me speak about the 5 people who have made the cut and who will be called on to give their pitch.
Okay, so congratulations to everybody that got the opportunity to pitch. Talking to people is hard. It's not easy. It's not something that you learn and you automatically do. It's over time. Even till now, a lot of us that do it for a living, we still have to prepare. But there are basics to it. Yeah? And the first one is you have to be prepared. Yeah, because your preparation is like 50% of the perception of the person that is going to be listening to you. What the person will be listening, what the person will judge you based on. You can't be coming from inside the house, or you can't be behind the lights, or all of that. You have to be prepared. Yeah. Then 2, you have to make sure that you put your best foot forward. And your best foot forward is not just about what you're saying; it's about how you look. Do you understand? Again, we are human beings. Yeah. The perception of how people would judge you is not based on the perception of how people judge you is not based on how good your clothes is or anything. Yeah, at least wear a shirt. Just again. Now, because the reason why all of this is important, is that don't be. I don't know of the previous one. I don't know the previous selections, but most of these selections are not going to be judged based on how much you have suffered. Yeah, it is going to be objective based on the things that you say, and to know if the laptop coming to you at this point in your life is going to actually be the most important thing for you now. Do you understand? So all those 3 factors are important, and you can only show it based on how you come through. Do you understand? Then what you now finally say is important. So, like say for example, let me give you guys a Kini. One of the backstories that I don't think I've said this anywhere on the internet before, and I'm going to say it here. I used to hawk, I used to carry cement, I used to clear gutter for me to be able to make enough money to give me transport money to go to work sometimes. Yeah, I didn't used to have. Remember when I said when I started with my aunt, I didn't used to have a laptop. Yeah, but I did certain menial jobs when I knew I was not earning well enough in those places I was going to get to that place. Now, I am not saying that you should do the same. Yeah, I'm not saying that you should do the same. What I'm saying is that when you show that you can do something with the one that you've been given, or with the one that you don't even have, it gives people even the best feeling to say, okay, you've been able to get this part, take and scale what you've been able to scale. Don't wait until this thing. Your mobile phone, you'll be surprised how much your mobile phone can do for you. You'll be surprised. So next time you have the opportunity to pitch, focus more on the impact it's going to have to what you currently are doing with your life. Make sure that you're prepared, and being prepared. If light is at the back, yeah, don't put your head behind the lights and put your phone in front. Put your face in front of the lights. Let us see you while you're talking. Then make sure as well that you actually prepare for the things that you want to say. A lot of you guys, everybody said compelling reasons why. If I had money, I'll buy a laptop for everybody. Everybody had compelling reasons, but unfortunately, one person has to have it. So make sure that next time when you have the opportunity to come through, make the justifiable reason as to this thing. Say for example, everything everybody has said is fantastic, but there are contexts and ways that you would have said one or two of the things that you would have said that would have been a lot more compelling than the other. So We would go back, review every single person that has pitched, then finally make the decision. But good luck to everyone and well done. Great job.
Thank you so much. And that's coming from the brand strategist and the brand expert himself. And we're talking about branding. So a lot of stuff that he mentioned as well was how you brand yourself. And that's great. So thank you so much. One more thing, just before we wrap up and we're on time. One more thing you think they should go home with in the entire conversation we've had, Daniel, just one sentence here today for them so that people do a takeaway here.
Yeah, so one thing I'm going to say to every single person is your entire life as a person is a working brand, and every single thing that you do from here on for life is going to be is a compound, like I mentioned before, is a compounding effect. Now, I am not saying that you should be perfect. I am not saying that you're going to be perfect. I'm not saying that you should walk like Jesus and, do miracles and stuff. You can make mistakes. You can do something. You can learn errors, but make sure that you are intentional about who you want to be and you're showing it to the world. Most importantly, you're showing it to the world.
Sure.
Do you understand?
Showing it to the world, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I know we'll call your house. Can't check how good you are or how great you are. The day it comes on my timeline and I see it, and I see it again, and I see it one more time, I'm going to be like, that guy. Do you understand? That guy makes sense. So make sure that you constantly build, you constantly push, you constantly prepare yourself for the next stage, even if you're not there yet, and you show it to the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was completely enlightening. See the stars behind me. I love it. This was just the beginning. So we're raising the bar this year. It's going to be bigger conversations, more opportunities, and more people will be empowered. So please stick with us. If you haven't already, set a timer so that the next time you can fill the pitch form. Everything we've taught you today about AI and how it enhances yourself, build it, write a killer pitch next time. Set your reminders. We'll do something next month in March. Great conversations coming up. Let's keep growing. Let's keep winning. Let's keep building. See you next time at the MannyVille Live series. And watch out for the announcements, right? Every other person that's won, congratulations as well. The entire people who pitch, I think 4 of you guys, you have data already. And it's some good gigabytes that you're going to get. And then for the winner, keep glued to Mr. Daniel's timeline and his page. You're going to see the big announcements soon, and he'll do it in his characteristic style. I'm also looking forward to that. Thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely rest of